Alright, continuing on and just jumping right back into it. The last thing we did was we took a look at how we're going to construct our completed request and our active request. And we sent these requests theoretically, I suppose. But what I recognized was that I did my pricing thing wrong, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my continue folder, get the sales history, okay, and I'm going to go into here, and this is my file where this is my continue file. This is how it looks. Every time you get a UPC, it just hops the line, and if it sees that UPC within the file, it will skip that UPC because it's already been completed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that whole file so we can start all the way over. Now, did I even say that? Oh yeah, so if UPCX in file progress tracker continue. Okay. So, alright. So I deleted that. Now I have to also delete my output file, which I guess we can take a look at it real quick. So this is what it's gonna look like. So there's a lot of nuns. There's none written a lot of times in here, and that is because it looks to be that it correlates with a title from none. Oh well, I guess you get none if there are no results for that UPC, but if it already has a 0 under title Home Depot, I think it's also gonna, I don't know, that could be wrong, but you just pay attention to that stuff and you'll see. So we got different conditions, open box, which is not new, so I probably want to change my parameter, I'll say, to brand new instead of just new, but for the sake of this, I'll just leave it the way that it is now. So let's look at current price, A to Z. So out of all these 100, there are only 35 that actually had results, and these are mostly randomized items, so that's kind of how it's gonna work out. But once we do this scrape again, it might even be fewer now that I got my price number right, or it might be more, or whatever. So we're gonna go ahead and look at that, and I'm just gonna delete this, so don't save. Then delete that back into my working directory. Okay, so, and that's alright. So let me hit F5 so that can run again while we're yapping off. Okay, so we send our completed request, we send our active request, and I guess I'm still writing it wrong because I haven't put my supply and demand in here yet, so we'll do that. Okay, so we want to parse it out. Now, in the last video I said we sent our completed request and we have soup underscore completed. We also have our active request, which is soup underscore active. Is that even in here? Soup underscore active. Yes, it is. Okay, just to make sure. Okay, so soup completed, okay, equals beautiful soup response underscore completed items dot text. You have to be extremely careful making sure that you get exactly the right everything, because you'll still get, the program will still work if I put active items right here instead. The program will still work, but it will be wrong information. So you think, oh great, it's working, I must be doing it right. No, that's not necessarily true. So anyway, okay, so soup completed. If soup completed.act.text.lower does not equal success, we got a bad request. That has not happened yet, I don't think. Total entries. Okay, we got our total entries, which is the number of results that we have. It looks as though this is all pretty much the same. Okay, so total entries underscore completed equals the integer soup completed dot total entries dot text. Same thing with total pages. Now on total entries underscore sold, this is going to be the length of this list comprehension, and it's going to be I for I and soup completed dot find all item. So what soup completed dot find all item again is, this is basically saying for every item in my results, for every listing in the results for soup completed. So if there's 10 results for item out of 1 through 10, then it's saying if the selling state of I is equal to ended with sales, then add it to this list. And the length of that list is going to be my stuff that sold. So this is actually bad if you have more than 100. If you have more than 100 results, this is actually bad. Then you would need to iterate through pages. But because I don't think I'm going to have that, that's okay. So total entries unsold is going to be the same thing, except at the very end of this is going to be if I.selling_state.text equals ended without sales. So this is going to be, again, the number of items that actually sold, the ones that did not sell. And then now I have, okay, so total entry sold is already an integer. I don't need to, I guess, do that. Not that it matters, I suppose. So if total entries, as long as I have more than 0 sales, then that means I'm going to have a first item in my results, which is going to be soup completed.findAll item at index 0. Find all is going to say look at all the items within the page, and it's going to return you a list. So I set at index 0 to get my actual first item. Then condition display name is first item dot condition display name dot text, first item dot listing type dot text dot category ID dot text dot category name, current price, selling state, and so on and so forth. I'm pretty sure you can read that. And again, this is going to be available on the GitHub, which is in the description for this video. So these are all the things that I printed out in the second to last video, where we just wanted to see some of the results. Also, this is just going to give you an idea about some of the stuff, because we're searching by the UPC to get the number of results that match my criteria for that UPC, whereas anything under first item is going to be something specifically relevant not to the UPC, but rather to that specific listing in my results. So just because this says the current price that this sold for is $10 does not mean that that's the price that the second item sold for. If it turns out that that's something you need to look into, then that's something you need to look into. Alright, but if my total entries sold are equal to 0, then I'm going to write all the same variables as none, so that way we can still write everything into our CSV, and that helps because you'll have a lot more sort of clutter in your CSV, but when you're looking through your output, you want to be able to make sure that the reason why something came up as none or as 0 or as nothing is not because you want to make sure that it's for the reason that you believe it is, not something that you didn't realize that's why it was messing up. So I usually like to keep everything and write them all, just to make sure I'm collecting everything correctly. So okay, now we've got soup underscore active is equal to beautiful soup response underscore active dot text, and then if soup active dot act, okay, we already got that. Active, total entries active, total pages active. Okay. Now, did I write? I didn't even write that. So I didn't even write my results. So I got this thing. It ran again. We're gonna have to do it yet again. But let's see. Did I get more this time? So it's the same size. Oh, I guess as it should be. Insert table. Okay, and then we got current price A to Z. Now we have 37 there are, and it might be a completely different group of ones that have a result now versus last time. So just because there's 2 more doesn't mean it includes all the same ones from last time. Probably it does not, would be my guess. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close that so I can delete it. Don't save. It don't want to be saved. And then continue, delete that again. Alright. Be careful deleting entire folders, because if I delete the whole continue folder, I'm okay. But because my input is in my collected results folder, and if I delete that whole thing, then I've deleted my input as well, which can be very bad. So I usually specifically go to what I'm trying to delete. So anyway, so I got Now what was that? What was the last thing I did? I said soup act. Okay, there it is. So I'm gonna just type this so I can. Okay, total entries underscore active, total entries underscore sold, and total entries underscore unsold. And I'm gonna cut, and we're gonna add that. We're gonna add that to this one. Actually, I'll put that at like the top or something. Okay. Which means I have to go into my my list of columns at the top, my string list of columns, and add that as well. So we're just gonna page all the way up. Then after UPCX, I'm gonna dedent, and then okay, and then I'm already confused. So let's just that. So alright, what was even the point? Okay, now I'm gonna run this yet again, and because it kind of runs fast, thankfully. What is that? Because it kind of runs fast, thankfully, hopefully it can be done still while I attempt to continue this video. So you can see it's kind of running on through. Alright. Also, the more data you request from the API in one request, the longer it takes to get it back. So if you're scraping 1,000,000 items, you will see a tremendous significant increase in the amount of time it takes to scrape them all. So okay, we've got our active request. Sorry, I'm hopping around a lot. Alright, back at soup active, and then total pages. Okay, list of page items is going to be, as I said previously, soup.find all items. So there's going to be a list of all the items that are returned in my results, maximum of 100 on that one page. Then first result is going to be, we're going to try to set first result to list underscore page items at index 0. We're going to try it because if it does not, if the first result does not exist, that means there are no results. So I can't have a that's first result start time, first result list underscore page items. So the start time, end time, that doesn't make sense. Oh, that's soup completed. Oh boy, wow, that's scary. See, that's exactly what I mean. So maybe I should have put this with the other, this whole thing, as a matter of fact, this whole block. I should add that to my the section where I've got my completed request at. So it looks like right here, hit paste and then enter to give me some space. So no, that's not it. Or am I tripping? Yeah, that is it. But I also said if my results are less than 0. Where did I say that at? Because it's the same thing. So I can add that. So okay, I already got this then. First result. Well, wait, but that's, so total entries underscore sold. So I guess I don't need this then, because I really already wrote that. Ended in days, which means yet again we have to start all over. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop this thing. Oh, that ran pretty fast. And ended in days. I'm gonna put that. I guess it doesn't matter a whole lot where. Or yeah, it does, because I have to have my start time and end time first. So I didn't parse them out. So I'm gonna cut, and then I'm going to just get rid of all that, and then I have to paste over top of that. So go ahead and copy that out. I hope this might have confused you a little bit. I'm sorry if it did. I hope it doesn't too much. I'm gonna have, like I keep saying, this is gonna be on the GitHub for you to inspect it and to just copy the whole thing or whatever the case is. So if total entries is greater than 0, then I should be able to get all of this out of here. And if it is equal to 0, then I'm gonna set all of that equal to none. So now we're going to go back. So soup active is beautiful soup. Total entries active. Total pages active. So printing some information, and this is my list of output details. So we've got UPCX, everything that we've gone over several times already, and then this batch of code, which is going to be appending. Remember, do not write to W, write, not Q. W, do not do that, because you will have one line in your whole CSV and you won't be able to figure out why. So anyway, you're gonna append, and that's gonna write one row to our CSV. Then the very last little batch of code here is going to be file equals open, and then file name progress tracker, so we can append to our progress tracker, which is just going to be the UPCX plus the new line character, so that way it can jump on down to the next item within the progress tracker. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and then I'm going to delete my collected results file also one more time. Get eBay sales history, yes, and then that, and then delete, and see how long this video is so I can complain about how long it's taking. 16 minutes. Alright, ended in days yet again. Ended in days. So ended in days. Oh, okay. So we're just gonna say start time, end time, then ended in days equals none. Alright. Alright. Now we should be good to go. So I'm gonna make a first result. I change it to first item. First result. Okay. We're gonna first item. Okay, replace both of those and save. Alright, and it started over from number 4, just like we wanted it to do. Because if I was at 40,000, for example, and then some random error that I never saw popped up and I have no idea what it is, and now I have to start all over, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep track. So, sold, unsold. Alright, so I'm going to take a peek into my results by making a copy and then looking in. If you look into the one that you're writing to, you'll get an error and it will stop writing to it. So hopefully this is all correct data. So we've got sold and then unsold. So I don't want anything with 0 sales. So this says there's 25 active. Okay, so really what I'm supposed to do, and instead of hard coding it, I'll put it inside of, I'm just gonna insert it right here, not like that. Let's see. Okay, now this is gonna be a formula, and what we want to say is we've got 20. Let's go to the one with 25. So I don't even know. We've got total entries, so we got 2 that were sold and 0 that were unsold. So in reality, we kind of want something that's got a high number of sold. We already know that we want something with sort of a high number of sold. But in addition to that, we want something with a low number of unsold. So if I have 100 sold and I have 10 unsold, that's really good. So I think what I did last time was I actually did, the formula was this column by this column, which obviously is not right because it'll give you an error if you try to divide by 0. I think that is. And so I don't know, it's pretty silly that I don't have this worked out exactly, because the truth is I don't have it worked out. I know how to do everything else, but when it comes to the math, that's where I need some major work. So I picked up a statistics book yesterday, and I should probably put more effort into that so I can make some more informative videos. But on the bright side, even though my math formulas have not been probably correct, they still relate each other well. They help each UPC, each result, relate to each other. So even though it's not necessarily the right number, that I might do this column times this column, but once I do everything, and then I sort it by whatever result I get right here, then it'll still be in the order. Out of all the UPCs, they'll still be sorted in whichever order that they actually, whichever one is at the top of the list is going to be the best one, and whichever one at the bottom of the list is going to be the worst one, basically, is the point. So again, you can see we've got 100 active. Oh, we also want, active is going to be your supply, and if we got 100 active, so we've got a high supply and a low demand, because there's only one that was sold and 11 went unsold. So we have to have sort of a low supply and a high demand, and then also a low amount of unsold. So whatever kind of formula you would use to put these three numbers together so that they give you something that you can actually use into this column is actually what I would hard code into the code. So I'll probably do that in a future video. I'm sure I'll be remaking a bunch of these videos over again, but different. So hopefully we can do that next time. And I might just add to this at a later date, just with all the new fancy stuff that I'm learning in my naive Bayes book, or not naive Bayes, Bayes theorem, or think Bayes. So anyway, alright, I think that's the end of the video. Let me, okay, this thing, oh yeah, this one, oh yeah. So let's actually look at the actual results. Let me just delete that. Alright, we're going to insert table. Alright, so we said we want something with a low number of, so let's start with this one. I'm going to say highest. So we've got, this says 31 sold, but there's only 32 active. So we have a rather low demand when you look at how many, a low supply when you look at the demand, because you know, if almost every single one that got posted also sold, then that's probably a good product, a winning product. Probably, I don't know. Then we've got 3 that went unsold. So whatever the time constraints are that go for, if some people might have posted 7 days for this, 14 days, and so on and so forth. But we just look at that, I guess. So now here we've got 100 active. There's 15 sold and 31 unsold. In my opinion, 50% of sold versus unsold is still a pretty good number, because if you are a good drop shipper, if you know what you're doing, if you're getting your cash back and you're this, that, and the other, and all this other stuff, if you're good at being a seller, you can still make that sale. If your goal is, I think, what they call bulk theory, where you just post as much stuff as you can possibly post, then this is still going to be a good product for you, even though it's not the best seller on the planet. Really, I think I was doing probably like as low as 30%, depending on how many items you can have for sale. I had 500 or 1,000 items up for sale, so that's still pretty good. And after, with 1,000 items, if you have 1,000 items for sale, and each item has like a 50% sell-through rate, then you know you're going to be rolling around in a whole bunch of money before too long. Is just kind of what I think, I guess. I don't mess with UPCs. I mess with car parts, because I feel like, instead of, in my opinion, I would rather sell a car part for $100 and only spend $20 on it and then take the rest of the profit, versus when you sell stuff like this, you know, you're making $3, $5, $10, but you're only making like, it's just such a small percentage. Even 50% profit is like, I don't know, I'm not trying to do 50%. I like to do car parts with like 300% profit or more, seriously. So anyway, alright. So what else we got in here? So we've got all our condition display names, new with tags, so I guess that's like probably clothes or something. I also have the category ID and the category name. So now, previously, all I had was a UPC code, didn't know what it was, didn't know what the title was. We collected the title, we collected the price, but now we also have an actual category ID. So if I want to write a program that's going to automatically post all of these items for sale, which as a matter of fact I'm already working on, well, I've done it several times, but that's what that is. I'm running on my virtual machine. If I want to write a program that's going to automatically post my stuff up, I need to know programmatically what category ID to post it into, without having to inspect it and say, oh, this is batteries. Let me spend 30 or 45 seconds trying to look up the category code for batteries so I can post it to the correct place. No, because that 30 or 45 seconds with 1,000 items or 10,000 items is just for that one thing is, you know, a pretty substantial amount of time. And then it's got not just the category code, but the name next to it too. So we can see that it says rechargeable batteries is the name of this product. So we got an Accurite rain gauge, and then here, where's the rain gauges? Apparently it's its own category. I had no idea. Adhesive tapes and so on and so forth. So we've got stuff that ended in days. This is just for the first product, the first item in our results. So if we go from A to Z, so let's try this one, 3 days. So ended without. Oh, but we also want stuff that ended with sales. So let's say, so if it ended without sales in 0 days, I wonder what happened. Did the guy take it off? It was from 10:47 to, that's 10 a.m. till almost midnight that night. So he might have, who knows whatever happened. So we want something that ended with sales and then ended in days is 1. So again, it's ended in days is 1, ended with sales, cleaning products. So that's one of the first hints. It's not necessarily that it's probably whatever product it is, it's that it's a cleaning product. It's spring cleaning. So we have a Hoover, I'm guessing a vacuum. Where's the category? Or no, it's a cleaning product. So Hoover what? Thailand Grout Plus Cleaner Solution. Okay. So the price on Home Depot is $7.35. The price on Walmart is $8.49. The price on eBay is $10.13. So let's see now how many. Oh, also, where's my sold results? I'm sorry, I'm hopping around all over the place. Okay, so there's only 2 active currently right now, and in the last, oh, that's also something we forgot to consider. My sold in days, or my start from days variable, set to 120. So that means in the last 120 days is this what are the results for this? Whereas in the other video where I was doing car parts, it was 10 days or 30 days or something a much smaller time range than that. So that's also something that you want to consider. But again, I raised the number of days because I'm drop shipping products, because I'm drop shipping random stuff, well, sort of random stuff. It's okay that something might have been for sale for 4 months, because again, if I got 1,000 things for sale, almost inevitably one of these things are going to sell if it has some sales history that meets the criteria that we want. So again, total entries sold, let's just switch back to that. So again, this is probably, out of everything in my list of these 100 things, like probably until 5 results. I probably wouldn't really myself mess too much with anything underneath it, under 5 results. And let's see if we got any related category names. So rechargeable batteries, rain gauges, tape, bleach and stain removers. Okay, so I think that what you can see here is, what is the similarity here? Mops and brooms, spring cleaning. Grills and griddles, not necessarily, but bleaches and stain removers, spring cleaning. Adhesive tapes, home stuff, around the house type stuff. So obviously it's on Home Depot. Wow, oh my goodness, $3 at Home Depot, $11 at Walmart. Must be a third-party drop shipper or whatever. So, and then here's also the names of the sellers. There's a lot more you can do with the name of the seller. You can say, hey, let me get all this guy's stuff and see what he's got and figure out how to, should I instead of selling car parts, should I start selling whatever this guy is selling, new car parts instead of used ones, etc., etc., and so on and so forth. So, and then the last thing is our URL. So obviously all you do is copy that and paste it in your browser, and it'll take you straight to the sold or unsold listing. So the completed listing that'll take you to. Okay, so anyway, that's the end of the video. I'm sorry that I do have some issues with, like I said, some of the math, but for the most part, as long as you kind of work on everything and you really explore what you're looking at, you really understand what you're working with, then you can figure out how to make things work and make some big money with it. So I think that's actually going to be the last video for this tool. We have now combined our price comparison tool with our eBay tool, sort of, by using the output as the input, by saying if it's not available on Walmart, and if it's not, or if it's not at least this many sales, if it's not at least this price on Walmart, if it's not at least this price on Home Depot or whatever, then I don't want it at all, because that's something that I know I want to deal with. So a lot of people, I was just looking on the internet the other day, and this is going to be in the video, I'm sorry, I promise. But I was just looking on the internet on a drop shipping page like today, and or maybe it was a YouTube video or something, and some person was saying, oh, well, you know, I can find products, it's just I don't want to spend the time figuring out whether or not it's on Walmart. Matter of fact, no. There's a pretty big drop shipping guy, Mark from DS Genie. He also makes his own software and drop shipping tools, I suppose. And what he said, it was one of his videos where it was like, oh, watch me work. And the thing that I didn't like about the video was that the guy showed you while he worked. He was like, he wasn't really telling you how he knew what he knew. He was just saying what he knew. And what he would say, he went down a list and said, there's like, oh, look at these TV stands. Oh, and oh, I recognize that one from Walmart, and I recognize this one from this other website, and I recognize this other one from this other website. So it's like you kind of have memorized knowledge, not acquired, or no, not like built knowledge. And if you could, instead of saying, oh, I know that this is a good seller because I already recognize it from something else, I would rather have him say, here's how you figure out whether or not this item is on Home Depot. So where he has that advantage over everybody else, because he sits on Walmart and scours through all that stuff for hours at a time, he has that advantage. Most of us don't. But with this tool, using your price comparison tool to say yes or no it's available or on a certain website, and then to say yes or no it has a sales history, and then to say yes or no that sales history is any good, is really going to help us really get ahead of really everybody else, all of your competition, unless they're using the same tools, which I highly doubt. But it might not be as uncommon as I think. So anyway, that is the end of this video. I hope you liked it. Give me a thumbs up and a subscribe, and leave me some comments, and I will see you on our next tool, whatever that may end up being. Thanks.